Yo, what's up, people? It's your boy, Griffin III, and I am back with another video. Uh, Before we get into it, first, like to state this for the record. Please subscribe and enjoy my new comedy channel, Messy Media U. Subscribe and enjoy. You will not be disappointed, I promise you. Now, let's get into this latest video that's on Instagram of Robert Griffin III playing basketball, playing a pickup game in a hoodie, trying to emulate Carmelo Anthony. Okay, now show some good skills. Show some very impressive skills. If you go to his home page on Instagram, uh, he did some work. It was just a pickup game. It wasn't nothing serious or major. He didn't play against professional or D-level basketball players. Just a bunch of guys that was happened to be on the court. But to me, it's amazing to me that this video was filmed week one of the NFL season. And this video shows a clear indication of the decline of Robert Griffin III. Um, what we saw from Robert Griffin III, he was a quarterback for the Washington Redskins. The man couldn't do no wrong. The man was sensational on the football field. They ran a lot of option plays. They really designed and catered the offense to Robert Griffin III, similar to what they did to Tim Tebow. When Tim Tebow was with the Denver Broncos, they downgraded everything to fit Tim Tebow's talent. And that's pretty much what they did with Robert Griffin III. They didn't dumb it down or anything. They just catered to his talent. And he had a very successful MVP year. All right. Now, at the end of that year, Robert Griffin III thought that it was time to switch it up a little bit, change his style, and have a similar traditional quarterback style approach to it. All right. He was pretty much stepping away from the stuff that made him great and popular, catering to his athletic ability, and he wanted to sit in the pocket more. And when he did that, he started getting a lot of injuries. He couldn't stay on the field as much because if you see Robert Griffin III in person, he's a small, slender guy. Okay, he's really fit. He's really built more like a track star than a NFL quarterback. Okay, and ultimately, he took one too many hits, and he was never the same again. Now, the Washington Redskins released him, and he went to the Cleveland Browns. Really didn't do too well with the Cleveland Browns because he was mainly injured all the time. He only was with the Cleveland Browns for like 1 year, but the damage was already done. Got released by the Cleveland Browns, and now he's a backup quarterback with the Chargers. Now, Philip Rivers is the quarterback of the San Diego Chargers, and he's pretty much an Iron Man. He really don't collect a lot of injuries on his body. So the chances of seeing Robert Griffin III make a start for the the LA Chargers are not that good. Okay, if you are a Robert Griffin guy, it's going to be a minute before you actually see him on the field, and I don't think you're going to ever see him on the field. Okay, so when I watched the video, it gave me goosebumps of what could have been for Robert Griffin III. This guy could have been, if he would have catered to his strengths and his talent and only build upon that, who knows what this guy could have been. He could have been Dak Prescott before Dak Prescott, okay? He could have been Russell Wilson before Russell Wilson, right? He had that type of potential, right? He was a phenomenal quarterback, but Robert Griffin III got in. He pretty much got in his way on several different types of ways. He was really, well, one way is he was more concerned of his brand and his image than trying to be a better football player. His, as far as developing relationships with with his football teams, he sort of was isolated from them. Okay, he had sort of a cold reception towards them, and that's due to the fact, if you reading the articles around Robert Griffin III, his family, his father was in the military, and he had a stoic type of personality. All right, it wasn't very likable, and a lot of people will perceive it as egotistical, but he really didn't latch on to anybody. Okay, and that's why a lot of the relationships he had with other football coaches, owners, as well as football players, current and former, had a huge time dealing with Robert Griffin III. Okay, because his approach wasn't likable. Now, the only owner in Robert Griffin III's career that catered to him was Daniel Snyder. Can I say that? Okay, and that relationship was sort of toxic, not to the point where Robert and Daniel couldn't get along together, but he catered to him too much. He babied and spoiled him too much. He pretty much gave him the keys to the organization, and Robert Griffin III really hasn't proven anything. Okay, and and when you're doing that, that really sets back someone's potential and someone's motivation, right? Because if you give somebody something and they didn't have to earn it, then they're not going to put the necessary work in to make themselves better, because you just handed them the keys and they really didn't have to do a lot to get it. And that was the problem with Robert Griffin III. To me, a lot of, if he would have been drafted to an NFL team that would cater to him, like I felt like if the Denver Broncos drafted Robert Griffin III, I think he would still be in the league right now, right? He would have some success. If Robert Griffin III was drafted by the New England Patriots, even though they have Tom Brady, I think they would have developed him well. The same could be said for the Pittsburgh Steelers. In a small case, I think he would have been developed a lot better with the Dallas Cowboys versus the Washington Redskins. Okay, and when I watch Robert Griffin III, when I watch that video, it reminds me of what could have been with this particular player. This guy was ultra competitive, talent through the roof, and he could never string things together, okay, due to things that he have done, and he couldn't just get out of the way, couldn't get out of his progression, and the owner, Daniel Snyder, he really didn't make things better for him. And when he went to the Cleveland Browns, even though Jackson, the coach there, he was, trying to develop him, but the damage was already done. He was already injured. He never progressed. He only got worse, and he couldn't put enough time in to he didn't have enough time in to necessarily see the progression of his development. It's just one of those situations. But guys, tell me what you think. Rate, comment, subscribe. Please, notification gang in the building. Hit that notification icon, that notification bell, so you'll know when my next video or live stream is going down. It's your boy. I'm Christian Down One, and I am out.